So juicy. Awesome. I cannot wait to tell you about today's lie. If this is the first time you joined us for Big Fat Lie Friday, welcome. My name is Jennifer Cramer Lewis, and I have been annoyingly noticing the lies that people have been telling themselves that have stopped them from having truly delightful lives, truly delightful businesses, truly delightful, happy, juicy, fun lives. And I've been noticing that for a very long time because I'm a very intuitive, very, very sensitive person. So today's lie is so freaking great. It's called I'm Not Entitled, You Are. So this week we're going to explore the lie I'm not entitled, you are. And how many times have you heard somebody called entitled? And you kind of thought to yourself, well, maybe I'm entitled. Or maybe it never crossed your mind. I'm more talking to the people who have thought, I wonder if I'm entitled. I wonder. And so, do you make people who are getting called entitled somehow less deserving of having a life and living that actually works for them? So, what are they doing that's making them appear entitled? So let's have a look at that, you guys. I really, really, really want to facilitate this today. So welcome. So we go live every week on Friday. And so this is actually our last recording that's independent. Isn't that so awesome? I have hired a production team and I'm going to be moving over to Inspired Choices Network. And so I will be going live over there at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so I'll make sure that you guys have the links. Just click, yeah, I'll make sure you guys have the links. So anyways, in this Big Fat Live Friday, we're going to cover what the heck is entitled anyways. When did being entitled become a bad word? And have you confused it with deserving or worthy? Have you confused it with deserving or worthy? And how does knowing the difference add to how you're perceived as a business owner? So I would love to talk about this. I would love for you to join me and find out how this big fat lie is underpinning so many places and spaces in business, and it's stopping you, the business owner, from shining so brightly and being so delighted by your business. So what the heck is entitled? Well, entitled, actually, if you go back to the etymology of the word entitled, it actually just means benefits. And then if you go back further, it means that land was bestowed on you, and maybe a title like Lord or Lady was bestowed on you. So benefits bestowed is the etymology of entitled. And so somehow it has become a bad thing. Why would having benefits bestowed on you be a bad thing? You know, like, are you entitled? Have you had some benefits bestowed on you? Perhaps you're a little smarter than the average person. Perhaps you're a little better looking than the average person. Perhaps. Perhaps. And why is that a bad thing? So this is what I've noticed with business owners is they don't want to be perceived as entitled. They don't want to be perceived as like maybe snobby or, you know, having a better advantage than other people. But here's the thing, you already have another advantage. You already have a better advantage. You're already here to do big things. You know, like I've really been looking into human design lately, and oh my God, the science of differentiation, how we are incarnated on this planet with our own specific mission and our own amazing tools to accomplish this mission on this planet. Isn't that so freaking cool? You have been incarnated with every single thing that you are here to be and do. And so if you get this like deserving and worthy trap showing up in your aura, showing up in your energetic field, showing up in your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, well, what it can do is it can repel the very people that you're here to assist, here to inspire, here to like shepherd, here to show a better way of having a life. And that's one of the things that I'm here to do, is to revolutionize things, revolutionize thoughts, revolutionize teams, and help them get cohesive and like really, really start to care about the health of the team. And so that's weird, isn't it? So, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the deserving and worthy trap. Did you know that if you look at the etymology of deserving and worthy, they each mean the other? So, if you look up deserving, it means to be worthy. And if you look up worthy, it means to be deserving. So who gets to choose? Like, I have a whole other Big Fat Life Friday, and I'm going to ask my assistant to pin that in the comments. Uh, and so if you don't know what deserving is and you don't know what worthy is, then you can get caught in the trap of trying to be deserving or worthy. But here's the thing. You're already deserving or worthy. You already beat the lottery. You know, you came, you were born. And so you already beat the lottery. So you're already actually entitled to have a great life. And so once you start to learn what your strategy and authority is, you can start to have a really great life right away. You know, you're starting to avoid things that make you feel frustrated. You're starting to avoid things that make you feel bitter. You're starting to avoid things that piss you off and starting to avoid things that disappoint you. You're like, okay, I feel a lot disappointed right now. I wonder what kind of a choice that I can make to feel surprise. I wonder what kind of choice I can make to feel successful or satisfied or even at peace. Like, what if being at peace was actually the goal? And, you know, anything that doesn't make you feel peaceful, you can't choose. So that would have to do with your aura type through human design. And if you want to know more about your aura type, you can actually, you know, click around, you can Google it, you can have a conversation with me about it. You can actually, reach out and DM me. Ask me some questions about it because I'm finding it's making a huge difference for me. I've spent so much of my life frustrated. And, you know, you think about I think it was Edison quote that said, no problem can be solved from the place that it was created in. I always bastardize that one. But basically, you know, if you're trying to solve your way out of frustration, the solution will always have frustration in it. And so for me, I actually have to look for what makes me satisfied. And it's amazing how simple I am to satisfy, really. You know, I'm like, okay, is that going to have a satisfying solution? Yes or no? No. So for your aura type, it's very, very important for you to be checking into the future of you and make sure that it actually has satisfaction in it, or surprise, or peace, or success. And if it doesn't, then you're going to be stuck in that deserving and worthy trap again. You know, and you can't choose your way out of deserving and worthy unless you're aiming your GPS at what your aura type is craving. And so that's kind of what I wanted to leave you with, you know. And the thing is, you know, every time you notice somebody being entitled and it pisses you off, it's something you're denying in yourself. And so a good question that you can ask yourself is, you know, what is that person entitled to that I don't think I'm entitled to? And pay attention. Because they're entitled to be happy. Maybe they're entitled to have a break. Maybe they're entitled to, be surrounded by people that love them and support them. And you're not really giving yourself that permission to have that for yourself. And if you're not, I would love to invite you to a different conversation, one where you're completely supported in your life and in your business, one where your financial flows actually match what you're here to be and do. Because you can't succeed without financial abundance. You just can't. I remember watching an interview with Yo-Yo Ma's dad, Yo-Yo Ma, the famous cellist, his dad. And he said that it takes 3 generations of wealth to create a maestro, to create a virtuoso. And the reason why is because you have to let go of the mundane. You just have to let go of, like, how are we going to pay the electrical bill? How are we going to pay for groceries? How are we going to pay for cello lessons? Because we actually need to put gas in the car. So here's the thing, you have to be willing to be entitled to having a great life, entitled to having relationships that support you, entitled to being successful, and entitled to being really satisfied with yourself at the end of the day. I remember actually, I don't know if people say this around the world, but I remember hearing, oh, well, that person's really self-satisfied. And it was a put down, because they weren't allowed to be satisfied with themselves. And I would love for you to be satisfied with yourself. I would love for you to be so satisfied with yourself that maybe you come off a tiny bit entitled. That would be fun for me. I love it when people are full of themselves. You know, that's another, that's another put down, isn't it? Being full of yourself. Well, what else are you going to be full of? Isn't that interesting? Somebody who's full of themselves. It might be a very British thing. Anyways, I'm from Canada, so we've got a lot of conditioning from Great Britain. Yeah, so that's what I want to leave you with today. If you weren't entitled, and if you weren't full of yourself, and if you weren't self-satisfied, then how much success could you possibly have? And so why don't we just let all of that fall off, all of that ugly conditioning and programming that we've received from God knows where, and just really step into asking ourselves, does this make me feel happy? Does this make me feel at peace? Does this make me feel like I'm on the right track? And if it doesn't, then I'm going to give you permission to stop doing it. I'm going to give you permission to stop doing it. And so if any of this has been valuable to you, I'd love to see a thumbs up. I'd love to see some hearts. And I'd love to see you show up in my DMs. If you're an established woman business owner who's delightfully ambitious, deliciously ambitious, and you know that it's time for you to really, really, really be supported in your life and in your business by somebody who would absolutely love you to be full of yourself and so successful and so happy, then I really would love to talk to you, because that's what I do for a living. Take care, you guys. My name's Jennifer Cramer Lewis, and this is Big Fat Lie Friday. Bye, guys.